with Johnny Radio.
If you like pina colada.
On AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
Yo, welcome into Sports 56 Happy Hour with your very good friend Johnny Radio. What a day we have. Wow. It's a game day for the Grizzlies. Ow! But they're 0-2. Pelicans 0-2. Zion. But what the hell happened with Dylan Brooks? And TJ, you just got out coached. Taylor Jenkins, OMG. You didn't have a plan for at least half that ball game. I was as lost as could be. But, man, I hope and I pray that you got to listen to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and Sane. Pete and Sane, because they talked about the basketball. They broke it down to a level that I can't do it, and they did a great job. Great start of the show for Pete and Sane. And then middays with Greg and Eli, always bringing it strong. And just the very ending of the show, what Eli dropped was pretty powerful. And I agree unequivocally, and we'll talk about that with the Pac-12. We'll talk about what's going on with college football. How scared are you? How mad are LSU players about this shield? I don't know if you've heard about this. I will tell you all about it. It's wild, and these players are ticked. And I went and looked at their schedule. It's kind of hard to see a game where LSU is going to be able to play. They talk about they can't breathe now. You ain't going to be able to, when it gets colder, you're going to be able to breathe. You know where they're at, right? Louisiana, Baton Rouge. You know where that's at? South America, is hot. It's humid. It's real humid and hot. And then they play Florida. Oh man. Oh, what they go do they maybe go north into Alabama to play either Auburn or Alabama? What I'm trying to say is, let's get real. This is the Southeastern Conference. It's hot down here, baby. And these shields, while they might work in San Francisco, if you just kind of look at the WGC, yes, they got like Greg Gaston said, it was like a 70-degree day this weekend. It was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. They're going to have no higher than 68 degrees at the Harding golf course. Did you know that? Do you know what the high in San Francisco is next week? Can you believe this?
What is it?
Do you know the
Should be
name of the
hot.
golf course? No, 68. It's the high. 68.
That sounds great.
Rory and Tiger were in full sweater gear and jacket today when they were hitting and practicing. But yeah, the PGA Championship this week, out in Harding, it's going to be cool, is what I'm trying to say. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. We got Grizzlies. We got Doug Peterson getting COVID. We got NBA. We got quarterbacks we got to talk about. It's going to be one of those days that I'm telling you. Oh, and we also got strip clubs and casinos. This is a weird question. Is a strip club, a casino, a bar, or a church more likely to end sports? I know that sounds like a crazy question, but do you know that those are the top 4 places? Well, actually, if you go top 5, it's your grocery store, your church, bars, and strip clubs. 5 most dangerous places listed. And this is not by me, by the way. I didn't make this up, okay?
Are strip clubs essential business?
You know what? I don't know.
No.
Sure?
I think I could say with complete certainty, probably not.
Well,
but,
if you're at that
hey,
most strip clubs are they're in zoning for residential where it's in an industrial park. And if they zone the industrial park as having to stay open, you can't close the strip club while the dude who's packing a truck.
I feel like you know a lot
About the law?
about the law surrounding strip clubs. Why is that?
No. I'm just saying it is a fact. Most strip clubs, if you actually look where they're located And now I'm not talking about Gold Club on Summer. I'm just saying, but a lot of places like out in Cordova, like the reason that one place went where it did is because it was zoned for industrial park. And if you're zoned, and heck, my attorney's about to text me. I promise you that, Scott. I'm waiting for it. He'll text me and let me know because he's always listening. He always corrects me. But he's the one who kind of told me that one reason strip clubs get out of this whole closing during the coronavirus is because they're in an industrial park. And if you can't shut down shipping and logistics and people sending trucks all across the country, you can't shut down what's inside of the industrial zone. And strip clubs, 70% of the time, are in an industrial zone. So that's why so many have been able to remain opening. By the way, where are you going to get that kind of analysis from? Is there another program?
That seems like a bad loophole that they have open.
Hey, dude. They
seems
don't
like a
want
bad
people
loophole.
to put a strip club like
Because like you have a strip club open.
They just don't want a strip club like in the middle of like
well, people will show
your
up.
neighborhood.
People
is what
will
I'm
show
saying.
up.
Like, can you imagine you just
It
bought
seems
your
like a
house?
transmission
you're a
zone.
new homeowner. You're a new homeowner, right? You just bought a house. You and your girlfriend, right? Am I crazy?
Oh no, that happened.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So if they didn't have zoning, is what I'm trying to tell you. Like where you bought a house, it is residential zoning. You see what I'm saying? Like
I do. I
schools-
know, and I know what you mean. I know
Yeah.
what you mean by the whole. But I think that's a pretty funny loophole. Like,
well, dude, I do see what you're saying. It is kind of a loophole, but where are you going to put strip clubs if they don't get to go in like a residential area, and they can only go in these certain areas?
didn't we have that story that one day about the sex doll guy in Las Vegas? He was in a residential area.
Yes, and that's why
How
he got-
ridiculous!
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's exactly
Okay,
why
that
they
makes
got
a lot more
busted.
sense,
Yes,
yeah.
because he could not make sex dolls in a residential. It had to be an industrial
Yeah.
zone. So yes, loopholes and by the way, he was making
Good knowledge
millions.
off top today, man.
By
Great
the way, I
knowledge.
wasn't even expected to talk about this, but I did want to hit the 67129, our text line. By the way, that's my good friend Gabe. Coon.
Speaking of strip clubs, apparently a stripper at Magic City said they did indeed give Lou Williams a dance that night. So
Oh,
that came out today.
Hold up. I'm about to
you
say,
know,
that's
it
a
could
hardwood
be a lie.
story.
It could be a lie, but we'll get to it
please.
more later.
Have you ever heard of a stripper lying? They're like the most honest people on the planet. They come to you in their birthday
I see.
suit.
Like I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're pretty honest, man. Like, dude, anybody that comes to you in their birthday suit, I got to feel like they ain't holding nothing back. They just straight up being honest, except for with their name. Like, because their name's not really Candy. You know what I mean? Like, there's not that many Candies. Like, there's not that many moms and dads who are like, oh, Candy Smith, Candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, other than their name, I feel like they're telling you the truth. Like, they're like, what else they got to lie about? Like, they're putting it out there for everybody.
I think that's a person-to-person, case-to-case basis. I think you're generalizing. All strippers
we
tell
all
the truth, and
generalize
I don't know.
these days, okay? If I can put this sucker over 65%, what I feel pretty comfortable about. Because, by the way, have you never ever watched, have you ever heard about the guys who just pay them to talk? Why do you think they just pay them to talk? I mean, they're lonely, obviously, but because they're honest. They're like, yeah, you are ugly. And you could never have a woman, so you better show up every week and pay me $100 just so you have somebody to talk to.
Good God. Off and rocking on a Monday, man.
I'm so happy to have a Monday. We had Anthony St. Peter, my good friend Gabe Coon, Greg, and Eli rocked it today. The WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, wow. And the fact we didn't have fans this year is almost like a wow with my jaw hitting the floor, because what a damn tournament. And you know who got to see it? Just us at on TV. But just to know it was in the city, I don't know about you. I guess because you haven't maybe been there, I was bothered. Like, I couldn't watch it. Like, I'd watch it, and then I'd be like, damn it, why am I not there?
It's kind of maddening not to be there, but at the
Yes.
same time, there was understanding. I watched it. I was very entertained the whole time. I mean, at one point it was a
I was talking
six-way
to North
tie
where
for
he was
first.
watching it like a madman.
But I mean, it was entertaining. It was just a
his
very
Cardinals
entertaining.
also were very infected.
Again,
Strip clubs,
casinos.
bars, casinos, and churches. The four, and the grocery store. So, no, out of all those, there's only one essential. The grocery store, right? So we have in all honesty, The bars, the strip clubs, the churches. And by the way, if they put bars and strip clubs together, they would overwhelmingly win. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, I'm not claiming to know a bunch, but there's a
I'm
bar and a
looking
strip
at the
club. There's a bar
numbers.
and a strip club.
By the way, you know that I'm looking at the New York Times.
No. I understand that. I'm just
okay.
saying there's a bar in a strip. Like a strip club is a glorified bar, right? Like it's still a bar, but it just happens to have strippers.
Well,
at
see,
it.
no, because most strip clubs I go to, I can always bring my own bottle of vodka. And you bring a bottle of Kettle, the girls love you.
You don't have a corking fee or anything.
Well, I mean, I usually never.
Yeah, you'd have to pay. Okay. Well,
Okay.
all right.
Majority
Getting in deep
of
now.
people
Getting in
that
deep.
walk
All right.
in those places don't know the DJ very well or lived with him probably.
Getting in deep. Okay. I think
and
people get it now.
Platinum's closed, by the way. That was when I was young, so it was okay. I mean, don't you think it was okay back then? Like, you don't even know what the Purple Church is, do you?
No, I do not know what the Purple Church is. I take
Because
it it's not
I
a church.
cannot talk about
I
this
take it it's
on
not a
air.
church. That's all I'm saying.
67129, 67129. If you ever wanted to join our text line, 67129, 56JOIN, send it to 67129. We're going to teach Gabe what was the Purple Church. By the way, we are right down the street, high up on Mount Moriah. We're ready to get off on today's show because we got Grizzlies. We still have baseball. Watch every game like it's your last. NBA is looking great if you're not a Grizzlies or a Pelicans fan because, damn, they are scaring the hell out of me. TJ looks just, wow, overworked. But we have so much to talk about. And Amari Sankofa at 2 o'clock, people. He's going to join us right before I get into Hardwood because dadgummit, it feels so good, and we got everything to talk about today in Hardwood. So make sure you stay tuned because today is going to be very busy. Remember, we have nothing without you and Chad Gatlin. That's MemphisFarmers.com. That's MemphisFarmers.com. But Gabe, I don't know if you know this. I'm in the box, dadgummit.
We are off and firing on a Monday, man.
I'm feeling
That's
good.
a great opening conversation.
Thank
Good icebreaker, man. Good conversation.
Didn't expect
But anyway,
to go there. I had a whole bunch of stuff written down, by the way.
Yeah.
I never get to the stuff I write down. Why is that?
I don't know, man.
Do I waste my whole
No, I feel like
mornings? Everything I write down, we never talk about.
No,
Have you noticed that?
We talk about it later in the show, but you open, and then you get on sidebars quite a lot. I mean, it's sort of your thing. But anyways, the Grizzlies now only hold 2-game leads over the Spurs and 2.5, it looks like, over the Blazers, so 2 games. They play the Pelicans tonight, and it seems like a winnable game, right? The first 3 games, you had Blazers, Spurs, Pelicans. Those were the winnable games. What is your level of concern that the Grizzlies will lose the 8th spot? Obviously, the remaining games after tonight are Jazz, Thunder, Raptors, Celtics, Bucks.
Interesting question because it's like a very it's a hard answer in the aspect that I don't think they're going to lose the 8. And the reason I say that, they get in a playoff, none of these teams that are at the very bottom are going to beat them 2 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? And I know people are like, oh, well, look at them. They went into overtime with Houston. And let's just be real. If Dylan Brooks would have pulled a
The Blazers.
What did I say, Brooks?
You said Houston.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking about the Rockets, how they beat. I couldn't believe that they did that thing the other night. Anyway, sorry, I got Harden on the brain. But the fact that when they go into overtime with Portland, they look great. And then you watch yesterday, and it takes Dylan Brooks, literally. All I wanted him to do is, how come yesterday he couldn't have pulled a Yoenis Cespedes? Do you know what I'm talking about? Cespedes just didn't show up to the Mets. Did you see how he was on a, people were looking for him? The team hadn't heard from him. You think he was in bed and passed out?
Apparently, they went to his room and ended up getting a key to get in from one of the maids or what have you, and he just was not in there. He left.
Dude,
completely.
bounced.
Took all his
Yo, my name is
bags with him,
Cespedes.
packed them.
I'm Audi 5, yo. Yes, that was weird. If Dylan Brooks would have pulled one of those yesterday, can I be honest with you? I think the Grizzlies win easily. Now, I don't want to blame everything on Dylan Brooks, except for there's a lot to blame. Why in the hell is he taking 20 shots when he can't hit the broadside of a barn? And what the hell was that foul with a second left, you idiot? Come on, he's a shooter. He's a crafty man. What the heck do you think he was going to do? Point is, Taylor Jenkins, though, is the coach, right? So if Dylan takes all those shots, Where's the coach telling him, stop it? You are really screwing the team. And the other thing is why in the hell is Ja waiting till the second half to even act like he's part of the team? The whole first half, like I remember a young LeBron, and I'm not trying to say that, but I remember him saying, I'm trying to let the game come to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling the game out. Ja, you didn't have to feel out Jack. You could have gotten to the rack at any time you wanted. You were the most athletic. You were the best player on the court by far. It wasn't even close. But yet, Taylor Jenkins got pimp slapped by Greg Popovich because TJ didn't know what the hell he was doing or what to tell his team for half the damn game. And that's just honest. To be honest with you, that's where I can see where TJ's got a long learning curve. When we talk about Ja as a rookie learning, Ja's ahead of the curve. I think TJ, I don't know if he's a little behind or he was good in the regular season, but this whole bubble thing got TJ a little bit off, man. Dude, you're playing too many damn people. You know what this is? This is the playoffs, dog.
Understood. Now the XFL, Spring League. I know you saw this, man. The Rock has bought the XFL as part of a 3-person ownership group with Danny Garcia, his ex-wife, and business partner, and another business partner, Jerry Cardinale. He only bought it for $15 million. I thought that was on the cheap.
That was awesome.
A really, really good price.
$15 million?
Does this ownership group give you hope that the XFL can return and be successful after the pandemic?
Okay, can I tell you a little secret? Abso-damn-lutely. Do you know why?
Tell me.
Do you know what the bowling contract is with the ESPN?
No.
Do you know who the PBA is?
Pro bowling?
Professional Bowling
Yeah.
League, blah, blah, blah. Of course, they've been canceled since the pandemic. Do you know that they got a multi-year platform and a big payday? And a lot of people, I have to go and research it really hard because I looked it up really hard. Like the PBA and Fox announced it, ESPN and them announced it. And they call it a multi-platform rights deal, mega bucks after 36 years. These guys are going to make serious money. Did you know that? I couldn't even believe this. But they had 100 million viewers during the entire year for the pro bowling. Like not in a session. But I almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I saw this, I was like, well, this can't be right. Wait. 100 million viewers for the season of pro bowling? I know coronavirus is horrible, and I know people are watching some crazy stuff, but this ain't even coronavirus-induced. So if the XFL is smart, and I can't find the numbers, I went to Forbes. By the way, SpotRack doesn't have the number for the PBA, okay? But everybody's talking about FoxSports.com, Fox College Sports, ESPN, FS1, FS2, Fox, the whole gamut. Now, ESPN is ESPN, CBS Network, and they also got a YouTube payment. So let me just tell you something. If the PBA, if the Pro Bowling Association can make bank off a couple TV deals, what's to say The Rock can't walk in there and give one of those TV execs the eye? Maybe body slam him and get a multi-billion-dollar deal like the NFL, dog. No, I mean, seriously, if you can sell bowling, you can sell the XFL. And right now, the way people are looking at the NFL, the fighting, the Antonio Brown, all the stuff that's going around, it looks like the country's now more divided than ever. It looks like somebody wants another outlet.
I will echo a lot of your sentiments, but I will say this also and sort of leave it at this. The Rock, in my opinion, as far as businessman goes, as far as the face of a league goes, is better than Vince McMahon. And I just think that's very, very simple.
Wow, that's a very good, simple point.
Now.
But do you know what's simple for me, last but not least?
Yeah.
If the Pro Bowling Association can get a multi-year television deal, what the hell's the XFL going to do? He's going to get his $15 million back in a year, period.
It's a good point.
Easy investment.
Now, the Pac-12 letter. Did you get to see all this?
Yeah, well, I read a lot of it.
Players are using the hashtag #WeAreUnited. It's a lot of players out of the Pac-12, I must say.
The best player in the Pac-12, the Oregon lineman, too.
The letter says the players will opt out if their demands are not met, and these are health and safety precautions, and then the other ones are crazy. 6-year health insurance after eligibility. I think they're good in thought. but I think they're going to be hard to execute. Civic Engagement Task Force, easy to execute. And then 50% of each sport's total conference revenue is supposed to be split evenly among athletes. Are we watching?
I thought it was 2%. Did you say 50?
That's for the low income athletes. We'll get to the whole shebang. And
See, that's where I'm getting.
They laid out a bunch of different
plan
things.
Is so big.
It's in the Players Tribune. If anybody wants to go find it,
if you want to really read it, it's very interesting. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But
Gabe.
are we watching a turning point in college sports, or do you think the players' demands in their entirety? I'm not saying one plan. Like, I think some of these things can work, but in their entirety, is it impossible to meet?
All right, can I ask you a question, Gabe? Are you watching something that you never imagined actually as a player?
100%, yes.
I never imagined when I was a young kid growing up. A scholarship was a dream. To get a college scholarship. In fact, to be so disappointed to find out that baseball gives you only a quarter, but they find you more money, it's not disappointing. But at that time, you still felt like you were honored. You know what I'm saying? You were like, oh, they're gonna give me a quarter scholarship, Mom. And guess what? I get to wear this across my chest, my Memphis number 10, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe it. And let me tell you something. It did feel good. And I told you all this last Friday. Money ruins everything. I'm not saying that money don't make the world go round either. I'm not saying I'm not here because I don't need money, because I got kids and grandkids and tons of bills I have to pay, so I need money myself. So I'm not going to sit around and lie. But sport was I guess the one thing when I was growing up, the coaches didn't get paid. Heck, I don't even think the referees got paid back when I played. I'm glad that people do get paid, but they ain't paid. There was a love for the game. It's a child's game. And then it grew up into something because every child played it, and every child dreamed to be a pro. And it's just all of a sudden now you look at everything that's going around in sports and how money is basically kind of taken away from it. Do you almost feel lost inside of it? Or is it just the coronavirus and being stuck and everybody's mentally confused and we don't know what's going on? What's the reality of the situation?
I think the coronavirus has absolutely shined a ridiculous amount of light on the NCAA and how they take care of their players, because at this point, when you look at playing a college football season, if you play a college football season, which I think most of them plan to, all of them plan to, for the most part, in the FBS.
SEC is going to play.
It shines a light on the fact that you're willing to risk their health for your money, for your financial gain. And I think that light being shined is opening people's eyes. I think the Pac-12 players, while I think some of their thoughts are a little impossible to put into action, I think some of them make a lot of sense, and I like that they're stepping forward and using their power and their voice now to try and make a turning point as far as college athletics go.
All right, so now I wanted to ask you this right before we go to break. Have the players not always had the power? And that's what I'm trying to say to you is you couldn't have dreamed. You just quit playing, 3 years ago was your last game? You couldn't have dreamed of ever making a statement like that or standing even up to your coach, because your coach would have slapped the bleep out of you. Your players would have grabbed you and pulled, because you don't understand. Football is almost like a military style. It really is.
But players have had the power, but they didn't realize it until now.
They never knew it. And now they look at all the money that's being made, and they see all this, and then the one thing happened. They realize that, damn it, you want me to sign a waiver? And that's the one thing I wanted to get to. All over the country, there's people trying. Stanford's waiver was the most BS of all, and I can't believe it came from Stanford. Did you read it? Stanford's, oh my gosh, I thought Ohio State, what they put out, Stanford basically said, get your you-know-what on campus in a very nice way.
And by the way, everyone signed these, by the way, for the most part. Memphis has had to sign one.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
A lot of the SEC schools
everybody's
have.
putting them out. And they keep saying that they're pledges, but no, they're not. It's actually a legal document. And the one that Stanford put out, you don't even have the right to sue them if you died. Oh my gosh, where's the finger and you know what? To even put that in there, you're basically letting people know this stuff might be very dangerous. Anyway, I've never seen people recognize their power in such a short amount of time. Chuba Hubbard, it started. Mississippi Like, think about the Mississippi State flag. Think about Mississippi State.
Kylan Hill.
Sorry. Think about, I was going to say, I keep saying Mississippi State because of Kylan Hill, but think about Mississippi's state flag. Kylan Hill was, like, his statement was the basic, I don't know how to say it. It started the momentum, and next thing you know, everybody was behind him, and journalists and everybody, and all the coaches came out. Kermit Davis spoke, and heck, Ole Miss and
you had 36 coaches march on the state capitol.
On the state capitol, but even like Mike Leach is like pulling Lane Kiffin's mask and stuff. They all stood up for everything, and it was like the players. I think again, you can go back to Chuba Hubbard, you can go back to whatever. They realized their power, and I also do have to say a lot of things also probably ticked off a lot of the players. A lot of the videos I saw this weekend from the Kaepernick jersey and the dogs, I'm sure did you see that?
Yeah, it was Navy SEAL. It was the dog training.
There's been some very sick images that have also been put out on both sides. And what I'm saying is the fact that now you see some of these young people who are on the TikToks, the Twitters, the Instagrams, they see these things. They're listening to these people, and then they look at their Twitter, and all of a sudden they go from 130 people from their high school following them to 25,000 people to more than 100,000 people following them, and they take a stand, and they're learning that they have some damn power. By the way, we'll talk about LSU. We'll talk about the Cardinals. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff, but remember, 67129, my man needs to know about the Purple Church and the way he ended it. How do you feel about college? I want the NFL to play because they get paid. I want MLB to play because they get paid. I want the NBA to play because they get paid. College, I've been saying the whole time, as a father and a grandfather, I'm not risking my child for your damn pleasure. They aren't making a dime. And if you say, oh, they get a scholarship, don't give me that BS. I know all about scholarships. But I will be back in 2 shakes. This is Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
Welcome back into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good friend Johnny Radio. Who's that? Gabe Coon. Always kind as can be. You can reach us all the time at 901-360-8255 or text us 67129. We got all kinds of questions out there. Basically, college football. We have to be honest. I'm going to start there. I'm going to move over to the NFL because there's so much with Doug Peterson coming down with COVID. 50 players have COVID. Odell Beckham Jr., did you read his paper in the WSJ, the Wall Street Journal magazine? Did you see that at all, Mr. Gabe Coon?
I did not get
Man,
to catch
I'm glad
it.
you didn't
I've heard
catch
it.
No. I'm glad
heard about
you
it,
didn't
did
catch
not catch it.
It's something you don't want to read because it is depressing. And then I'm also going to talk to you all about some numbers, figures, some things I've looked up, how much. And again, we think of college football constantly as the coaches making millions, presidents making millions, players making nothing. We think about the NFL and the players and the owners making money. We don't think about the municipalities, these small college towns, just in the Southeastern Conference, from Columbia to Columbia, from Gainesville to, I can't think, Lexington? Who's the highest north? Lexington's higher than probably the most north team I can think of. Right now, at least off the top of my head. Anyway, point is, all those Southeastern Conference teams in that bubble, we're talking about Alabama, who's estimated, and I'm not talking about Alabama. I'm talking about just that town, $200 million of revenue through restaurants, bars, and merchandise being sold and people making a living. And I read this in Forbes. You can go look at it. The average SEC town throughout a, college football season, they get their 6 games. That is equivalent to almost $145 million. Some more, some maybe a little less. But think about that. That's just revenue that's brought in for those games. And we're just talking football. So that means a whole lot. National Football League, OMG. It's crazy, but I'm about to get to that. But I wanted to bring up something that me and Gabe talked about. A couple of people have talked about online. Pac-12 came out, and basically, I think they realized they have the power. Do I think they overstepped their power? Damn right I do. I think it's a negotiation tactic. I was reading, and where I got the 2% is because I was
have
reading
it right
the
in front
Athletic.
of me. You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
The 2% thing you were referring to, it's about end racial injustice in college sports and society. They want to start a civic engagement task force made up of leaders to talk on this. They want to form an annual Pac-12 Black College Athlete Summit. And also, in partnership with the Pac-12, and I really like this. This is actually really interesting. 2% of conference revenue would be directed by players to support financial aid for low-income black students, community initiatives, and development programs for college athletes on each campus.
Now, I like that, but I do like one other thing, and I understand that this is a movement matter, but again, if you're a football player, Gabe, you know how it is to be a teammate. You don't want something to be just because you're a black player or a white player. you want it to be because you're a player. And that's the only thing that I think they need to eliminate because, damn it, there are poor white people out there too. And if you see a poor white kid struggle and he doesn't get some money just because he's a poor white kid, again, it's going to do more division than it's going to do creating.
I think low income students, they just need to take out
simply just low income. Like you could be Spanish, you can be Mexican, you can be Indian, you can be white, you can be black, you can be whatever. Now, yes, college football, we know the majority of the players on college football are black. But again, there are going to be certain circumstances, and you have to think about that. That's what I'm talking about, the Pac-12, some of their players and what they're putting out there. They need to think about their language. I know they're not attorneys yet, and they're young college students, but the fact that they're working towards something is very impressive, in my opinion. Yes, do they need help in work? But that's what lawyers, unfortunately, are for. And I will mention later on about a jerk lawyer who, I don't know, man, this is hard for me to even talk about because, like, I don't even know how to even say it. You know, like, did you see about I don't know if you saw this week, but do you know who Ricky Dixon is?
Heard of him.
So did you see about the players and how much money they got from the suit of the NFL? Did you see that at all?
No.
Oh, the amount of money that it looked like they gave the players for this brain concussion suit. And by the way, Ricky Dixon, rest in peace, he died on Saturday. His wife, Lorraine Dixon, is an unbelievable woman. She's a wife, a lawyer. She's basically a superhero. This man, basically, I'll tell you all about him a little bit later. In fact, I don't want to get too far off subject, but I will talk about Ricky Dixon and what he did, NFL, and I'll also talk about lawyers and how they basically, they came and took 25% of what the NFL was giving the players for representing of them. Come on now. 25% of the amount of, don't even get me started. Anyway, we'll talk about that more, but I just want to get to the young people who aren't even paid. It's a workforce that is not paid. And when people say, oh, well, you get a free scholarship, the scholarship isn't really even paid. Think about how much money you make off of, like the universities make. Like in the student loan people make, oh, you borrow $20,000, you have to pay back like $60,000 before it's over, or $30,000, and it turns into $80,000 over 20 years. Don't even get me started with that. But when you have players now who woke up and realize that they have some power, now they do need a little bit of help, and they need somebody with litigation, some experience, and honestly, somebody with a good heart who doesn't want to take advantage of them like they have been their whole damn life. And that's what, unfortunately, players have been taken advantage by coaches, other parents. Like it's amazing when you wake up and realize, like, and I'm not talking about me or Gabe or anything, but like you're a superstar athlete. You've basically been pampered your whole life. You don't know how to you carry yourself or wipe your own keister because people are just like siphoning money while they act like they care about you. But when that money dries up and you ain't a baller, they gone. And you left with nothing.
So the Pac-12 has 4 overarching demands. Health and safety protections. This has to do with COVID-19. Like you have to, that's something I think before they play. If the players don't get that, that should be universal for the NCAA. Like, they need to prohibit and void these COVID-19 agreements.
Time out. NCAA just proved that it is worthless. Power 5 just gave the middle finger to the NCAA.
Yeah, and they said they might have their own championships.
And they said they don't even care. We'll have our own championships. So, by the way, the NCAA died. It is over. It died this weekend.
But the health and safety protections, that can be handled. The second part of this is protect all sports, and they want people to stop. They want the administrators to stop paying coaches as much. They don't like that. They think that that's way too much.
I agree.
They want to end performance and academic bonuses for the coaches. And basically they said they want to end lavish facility expenditures and use some endowment funds to preserve sports. And their example they gave was Stanford University, their endowment fund. You've mentioned millions of times on this show. They have $27.7 billion worth of an endowment fund at Stanford, and they just got rid of 11 sports.
By the way, third part, just so they aren't even ranked in the top 25.
The third part, they want to end racial injustice in college sports and society. I think a lot of the things that they laid out here, we just sort of mentioned it, the 2% to go to low-income students, community initiatives, that can be done. The Black College Athletes Summit can be done. The Civic Engagement Task Force can be done. And then the fourth and final was economic freedom and equity And there's some in here that are very interesting to me, like 50% of each sport's total conference revenue being split evenly among athletes. That can't be done. The 6-year athletic scholarship to foster undergraduate and graduate degree completion, that can be done.
That can.
And the other one I'm not sure about, and I honestly I don't think can be done. They want medical insurance selected by players for sports-related medical conditions, including COVID-19, to cover 6 years after they're done in college athletics.
I think they can. Actually, that's something I think
that's
they
a
can
lot
do.
of that's an extra expenditure for these athletic departments that might be a whole lot, because you got to think about the amount of athletes they're paying insurance for.
As of an a-hole who's seen every single bit of their financial books and all that BS, they don't pay for their damn land, bro. Colleges and universities get their land donated. They get their coaches paid for by somebody else. They're the most state-funded and federally funded institutions on on Earth.
So, but here's what I want to point out: you're counting walk-ons.
Is the only thing that beats colleges put together.
You're counting walk-ons. You're counting scholarship athletes of every single sport, men and women,
I'm sorry.
to pay 6 years worth of insurance.
Only football. That's BS.
Yeah.
And the reason I say, I'm sorry, I misinterpreted.
That's the thing.
Only football. And the reason I say that, and you're going to sit there and say, well, that's not fair. Well, life isn't fair, but also when I play baseball, I didn't bang my head up against some other dude like Gabe, okay? Let me tell you something what I did when I played baseball. Nothing. I could look like John Crook if I wanted to. As long as I could throw the damn ball hard, catch the ball, and hit the hell of the baseball, it didn't matter. We had fun. We jerked around. Yeah, the coach would yell, but if you were good, you were good. It didn't matter what you looked like. I mean, one of our best players, no offense, Gabe, well, this isn't an offense to you, but I was going to say he looked a hell of a lot more like you than me. What I'm trying to say is he was just a big dude who didn't do anything, enjoyed sitting around. To be honest with you, he'd be playing pro ball if he didn't like smoking weed so much and just not doing nothing.
So when you look at some of these things laid out,
but what I'm saying is baseball players can't expect to get paid.
Yeah, no, granted.
Volleyball
and I think
players, I got hit with
the
volleyball.
Insurance thing, it's like you look at it, and it seems like
football
this whole,
only.
all four of these, for the most part, are laid out for football players
football
for the
only.
most part.
Football only.
But it's not. But that's not what they're saying. This is an all-encompassing contract or whatever
this is
set
where
of
they
demands.
have to wake up, because this is where this is a sad but true statement. This is called capitalism. This is America. This is the world we live in. Life isn't fair. You can go to other parts of the world. You can go to other countries. You can find out life sure as hell is not fair. I can promise you that. I have talked with many people, and I've been many places. Trust me, life ain't fair. But
actually, I was wrong. It looks like this is it's Pac-12 football unity demands.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say, let me tell you a little secret. Football pays for the rowing. Football pays for the cheerleading. Football pays for the damn band to get on a charter flight and follow them. Football pays for baseball in every conference except for the Southeastern, because the SEC, they make bacon baseball. That's true. So maybe baseball in the SEC, but other conferences, it's not. It doesn't even count. And let's be real. I'm going to break this and go ahead and drop this one on you. If you haven't seen, the NCAA just got killed this weekend. The Power Five basically gave a middle finger and said, we'll play any championship game we damn well please. We don't need you. You can cancel anything you want, basically. We'll do as we please. The contracts will come with us. We have the power. Hey, do me a favor, Mark. Go shut up and do nothing, just as you've always done. And I'm telling you, the Power Five, I think, just has separated itself from the rest of the NCAA in college football. And I think it happened this weekend. And I think it's being very under-talked about and under-reported, because they literally, during this pandemic, told the NCAA, we don't give a damn of what you say. We will do as we do. We will choose what we choose. And you can kiss my you-know-what. And the SEC told everybody to hold their scotch while they make their damn decision, because they got all the power when it comes to football. Speaking of power, Omari Sankofa to talk about the Grizzlies, Pelicans, that's happening today. Let's go Grizzlies. They need it. 0-2. Taylor Jenkins been worked. But we got so much to talk about and more. NFL crazy rules, crazy stuff. Congratulations to Justin Thomas. But by the way, can I just say Phil Mickelson, 10 under, tied for second. Dude always shows up to Memphis and shows out. And by the way, the fact that Bones was on Justice Thomas's bag is pretty interesting. A lot of stuff to get to. We got Grizzlies today. We got so much stuff to talk about. Hit us up at 67129. And never forget my good friend, Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
O'Reilly.
Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts are designed to meet the electrical demands of today's vehicles. Get dependable power and performance from a Superstart battery for your car, truck, motorcycle, lawnmower, boat, and more. Our professional parts people can help you find just what you need. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Yo, welcome into Sports 56 Happy Hour with your good friend Johnny Radio. You know my good friend Gabe Kuhn at G_Kuhn71. I am at Johnny_Radio. Omari Sankofa joins us at 2 o'clock. We're talking everything from the NBA bubble to what's going on with the Grizzlies. You know the Grizzlies and Pelicans play today, baby. Yes, we're going to talk about a whole lot of fun stuff. Plus, we have Hardenwood, but we've hit some hard-hitting topics. I love your text at 67129. I appreciate them. A lot of people coming in. How are they going to do this? Yada, yada, yada. Again, I don't know, but I am saying something. Go ahead.
One thing we haven't mentioned is how are they going to do this is a different question than how are they going to do this before this season. Like a lot of these will not happen before next season, so I guess we're just supposed to assume that a lot of players are going to opt out and not play in the Pac-12.
I think you're exactly right. I said this at the beginning. I don't know if you remember this. Did I not tell you the Pac-12 wouldn't play this year? Do you remember that?
That was for different reasons, I feel like.
It was for different reasons, but again, I hate to say this. Let's be real. They used the coronavirus, the conversation that's going on around the country. They sat around and did a lot of reading. They felt they felt the fact that the NCAA did nothing to put protections in for them. They read the thing that says, "Hey, sign this, and if we get sick and die, oh well, it's not our school's fault." And you know what they did? They woke up and realized, like, damn, you know what? We have a little bit more power. You don't have to, just because we're talented and we're the best of the best at what we do at this age, you don't get to take advantage of us. And that's what finally I think they needed to realize. Just because we're of a certain age, we're still the best of the best and we have some damn power.
But then the question becomes, how many of the players in the Pac-12 are on board with this? Like, are we talking about a 50% number? Are we talking about 60, 70, 80? What are we talking about? Because
the players
you wonder how many will still
dead without it. I think the Pac-12 without them, they can't compete against an SEC team.
There's backups, there's recruits.
Yes, but the top 5. I mean, you're talking about the top 25 players in the Pac-12 all sign that joint. Think about that. The ones that the NFL say are the best players in that league, all of them were on board. And I'm going to tell you again, the SEC hasn't done this. SEC, nobody else has followed suit. I don't see it coming. I see them going to kind of like let the Pac-12, just like they did years ago, let the O'Bannon case kind of play out. People watched. And I think that's what people are still going to do.
And it's interesting because I have a decent amount of friends at USC that play on the team still. I have a friend at Oregon as well. They have all said, from my conversations with them, that if there is not a ridiculous high percentage of opt-outs in the Pac-12, this was all for naught.
Now, how well do you know Clay? Or Coach Helton, sorry.
We've had him on the show a couple times.
Okay. I thought you knew him outside of
No, I am with his players. I have a couple of players that I know from my days playing and from St. Louis and otherwise, and just sort of networking, branching out.
I like Clay Helton. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's a very good guy. I'm not going to say he's Blake Anderson.
I will tell you this: at USC, they love him.
That's what I was
his players absolutely love him.
But there's some great people out there. I love our coach. But I think Blake Anderson is probably the greatest coach in college football with the stuff he's dealt with, the way he treats people, the way he talks about people. I think a lot of people could learn from him. And I know this is going to sound crazy. Almost if I was the Pac-12, I'd reach out to somebody like that. And I know that sounds, you're like, wait, he's not a lawyer. Yeah, but he's also a person that doesn't care about money, doesn't care about anything but people. Dude lost his wife to cancer. He fights for everything he truly believes. And when you talk about integrity and stuff, I still think Blake Anderson he holds the gold medal for that bad boy. Just some of the stuff. And the fact that I know him too also, it does help. But I know his story and everything about him, and he's just a hero to me. But from one side to the other, the Pac-12 players do need some help. But I have to also get to another part. I think the SEC is going to go through. I truly believe that the Southeastern Conference, as much money as it means to the local economies, and again, the number of players taken every year out of the Southeastern Conference to play in the National Football League, you don't think that these young people are going to want to risk it? People are going to, and by the way, that's the other thing, is young people like Doug Peterson talking today. By the way, I think he actually made some NFL players feel better because he came out today on TV and was like, I'm asymptomatic, I have it, I don't feel bad. The things like Freddie Freeman, where he talks about he was like almost dead, that scares the bleep out of players. You know what I'm saying? But you see somebody like Doug Peterson, who's 50 some odd years old, 55 maybe. I know Doug ain't young. He's a coach. He played ball a long time ago and was a backup quarterback. But I think that the National Football League, as many players as have opted out. We'll talk about Stafford. We're going to talk so much about the National Football League. We also have to talk about Aaron Judge, who's basically so hot. So hot. Like, have you ever seen anybody this hot out the gate? I'll answer that question, no. Because in all honesty, did you know in human history, he has the most home runs through 8 games and go-ahead home runs through 8 games in the first 8 games ever. He has 6, by the way. Dude is on fire. The Judge is not playing. I know he's a monster, but think about this. The average ball off of his bat this year, how fast do you think it's going? 98.2 miles per hour. That's the average. That's including his outs. When he, dribbles one to second, he's smacking them right now. But now Aaron Judge is balling, but Omari Sankofa, he's going to ball. We're going to talk about the NBA bubble. We have so much NBA talk to get to. It's coming up next. Never forget my good friend Chad Gatlin at MemphisFarmers.com. That's MemphisFarmers.com. Auto, home, life, whatever you can think of. Give Chad, a check. Give him a call. When you see Daniel Gatlin, you'll know you're at the right place. But call him at 901-235-1176. That's 901-235-1176. Omari Sankofa next on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
This is the sound of a blizzard treat at DQ, but it also sounds like a weekend bike ride, a post-game celebration, and a sunset on the dock. Wow, doesn't a blizzard treat sound good? Stop by DQ and grab one today, like new Oreo fudge brownie. Thanks for being the sweetest fans in the world. DQ, happy tastes good.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire-roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Summertime and the living is easy. No more cutting or paying utilities. Literally, you guys, Town Village Audubon Park, nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area in any condition. And yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, iBuyHouses can get you your money quickly. iBuyHouses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. iBuyHouses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. iBuyHouses.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Here we go. On Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. My good friend, Omari Sankofa is about to join us. We're going to talk about NBA bubble. We're going to talk about, the Grizz. We'll talk about, what's going on with Detroit, man. What's happening down there. But, man, first, I got to tell you something. Your good buddy Johnny Radio at Johnny_Radio. And then, of course, my good friend at G_Coon71, Gabe Coon. We just read some serious stuff that freaks me out. I told you about what Odell Beckham Jr. said, or I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But, Gabe,
looks like we're going to have an interesting hardwood. I read some things about Washington State and their new head coach, Nick Rolovich. We might have some players that got dismissed from the team over their involvement in the Pac-12 Unity Group. We will get to that. I have to do a little more diving into this. But it looks like Nick Rolovich has dismissed players from the team over being part of the Pac-12 Unity Group.
And that is disgusting to think about, but then also the fact that the Wall Street Journal magazine released this today where it said Odell Beckham Jr. made it clear that he thinks the 2020 season should be canceled. In his exact words, I just feel like the season shouldn't happen, and I'm prepared for it not to happen. And I wouldn't mind it not happening. And I'm like, damn. Again, I brought this stuff up earlier. The amount of money that these teams bring to municipalities, to other businesses. You can talk about the billionaires and you can talk about the millionaires. But these small college towns that have, Alabama and, everything in the SEC to the Pac-12. To go to the NFL and how much they mean and how much revenue they bring into each city. And then think about the person who's working, that takes your ticket or who gives you some popcorn. And just it's just crazy to think about the trickle down basically effect of these large leagues and the fact that we didn't have March Madness. The MLB season looks like every day you need to watch the game, love it, and pray. The only one that looks so far hopeful right now is the NBA, but I am scared because our Grizzlies right now through 2 games, man, they can't put a whole game together. Omari Sankofa joins me now. What's up, Omari?
It's going good, Johnny. How's it going, man?
Man, it's going well. How's life up there in Detroit?
It's going well. We got hit hard by the virus a few months back, but things have been pretty flat here for the last month, which has been cool. Everybody, friends, family, everybody's been healthy, so I'm just hoping we can make it through 2020 intact and then figure it out from there.
Now, everybody, Omari's up at, he's living in Detroit now. He's working at the Detroit Free Press, doing the Pistons beat writing. So right now he has a lot of time to just check out stuff that's going on in the bubble. Just kidding with you, Omari. I'm sure you missed some of this barbecue from down here, but there's a lot of stuff that's been going on Memphis style. And before we get into anything and all the bubble talk and everything else, I just want to ask you, because I know you're a basketball loon, when you saw this weekend all play out, did you think that today we'd have the Pelicans 0-2 playing the Grizzlies 0-2 going into this all-important showdown?
No, I thought that the Grizzlies would have gotten one of the first 2 games, and I felt the same way for the Pelicans. But it seems like both teams are figuring out exactly kind of where they are as a team. Grizzlies haven't been completely there. And then finish restriction, I think that has maybe disrupted some things for the Pelicans as well. So, yeah, I mean, these teams are both sort of in the same boat right now. And it should be a really good game. I'm hoping it's a good game because even if the two Grizzlies games so far, how they're going the way Grizzlies fans wanted them to, I think they've been good games to watch. So, somebody who is no longer sort of in that Grizzlies bubble, I'm just looking forward to watching some hopefully good basketball later on today.
Man, you're going to watch some good basketball. The only thing that scares me is just like Taylor Jenkins just feels like he's been outcoached. I hate to say it. I know Dylan Brooks has his new contract and has his money, but a shooter is going to shoot and is going to shoot and is going to shoot. And if you keep him on the floor when he's not hitting when he's not hitting the broadside of a barn, that kind of falls on the coach, in my opinion. I feel like TJ knows what you're going to get with DB, and Dylan Brooks was going to shoot. Why was he out on the court so much? And was that just the simple fact that Taylor Jenkins is actually on a learning curve, just like we talk about Ja Morant and Brandon Clark, Trey J, all these players? We actually have a coach right now who's still on a learning curve, and I feel like Pop just out-coached the hell out of him yesterday.
I would agree with that. I think Dylan was out there too long. Dylan can be very hot and cold. When he's hot, you can't give him enough minutes because he's a guy who can swing games by himself, which is a great thing to have, and a guy who's on a pretty good deal. On the other hand, sometimes you do ride him too long, and he tends to get tunnel vision on both sides of the floor. He takes shots he shouldn't take. He forces the issue. And then defensively, we saw that last play of the game. He bit that pump fake by DeRozan, and that kind of sealed
that just made me agitated.
Memphis. Yeah, it was a really bad foul. I think it's some of that's on Taylor. I also think part of the issue is that I think ideally Dylan and Grayson are backup shooting guards, and I think for a team that does not have a guy who is probably your long-term starter there, it's kind of hard to hold guys accountable. I think Dylan is a better player than Grayson, and I understand the temptation from Taylor to want to allow Dylan to figure it out because Dylan can do things that Grayson cannot do. He can carry the offense like we've seen that several times this season. He'll pop off randomly for 28 points, only missed 3 shots, and that's been super useful for the Grizzlies on some nights. And then you have nights like yesterday where he shot too much. He didn't have the efficiency to justify it, and then he had to mistake at the end. So I think it's an issue now. It's more of an off-season issue. Do you upgrade the two-guard position? Is that a priority now? Will there be something available where you can do that and basically be in a position where you don't have to rely on Dylan the way that they currently have? Because when he's on, everything's fine. But when he's off, he doesn't give you much more, and it can become an issue. So we definitely saw that yesterday.
And you know what? Another thing, I can't believe this. I have to admit this. If you listened to me last week, Omari, and we're in Memphis, you would have been like, damn, Harden, you're going to eat your words. Because I didn't think that Tyus Jones, missing him, would have been such that, like we got Ja. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's Ja. Man, he didn't even play to the second half. And then when he was on, wasn't on the court, it was just a disaster. They didn't even know what they were doing with the damn ball. Tyus Jones, man, I can't believe, realistically, at least this postseason, now I actually know what he actually means to this team. And having a good backup point guard is so damn important in the National Basketball Association.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to miss Tyus. For the Grizzlies to have 48 minutes every night of mid to high-level point guard play between him and Ja, I think that's a big reason why exceeded expectations this year, not competing for a playoff spot. Tyus has been really, really good since December. Chuck ball has always been a good passer. That's hard to replace. There's nobody else on the roster who really gives you that outside of Ja. D'Anthony Melton can play point guard, but he's more of a shooting guard, I think, at this point in his career. So they're going to miss Tyus.
Melton, I can't even talk. I can't even. He's going to make me start crying. I don't even want to talk about him. I'm not going to bring him up. But I kind of wanted to bring that up to lead into this, because the reason I brought up the point guard with you, Omari, I wanted to ask you is the fact that a guy now, or the fact that you cover basketball more than basically most. So what I'm trying to say is you have seen the transition from back in the day when you'd have a Patrick Ewing, you would have Hakeem Olajuwon get the ball down in the low post, work his magic, the Shaq do his thing. Now we're playing more of a positionless basketball. You know, you can't touch anybody or they're going to call a foul. They're shooting a lot more threes. They run up and down the court so much more. So it takes like a big man to get the ball down into him. Is that the reason that Giannis gets all the love? That LeBron, the fact that he's still a forward, but he's a point forward, gets all the love. And all this stuff. How is it, though? And the reason I bring this up is because, like, I see them as the most important players, but I feel like the most important player in this playoff is a dude who can't really create his own shot. He has to have somebody get him the damn ball, and that's Anthony Davis for the Los Angeles Lakers. He escapes criticism. He escapes everything, and I know he plays with LeBron James, but he didn't get it in New Orleans because they said he didn't have a team. Now he doesn't get it in L.A. because – he has LeBron James, but he led the team in field goal percentage. He led the team, in field goal points per game. He led the teams in steals, blocks. He led them in everything realistically except for assist. So is AD the most important player who can't get his own shot in this basically new league that we are in?
I think that would be fair to say. I think it's a ball handler's league at the end of the day. We see guys, like you said, like LeBron, like Giannis, who get the love, and they get the love because when you have the ball in your hands, you're able to impact the game more. I think guys like Anthony Davis sometimes could get, I wouldn't say they could get shafted, but the way that they're able to impact the game could be more limited.
They get the love, but if they disappear in the fourth quarter, you never hear them talking about on a TV show the next day that, oh, man, Anthony Davis didn't show up in the fourth quarter. It's LeBron didn't show up in the fourth quarter. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's always James Harden fell apart in the fourth quarter. Russell Westbrook things get away from him. Steph Curry. It's never it's never the guy who has to get the ball down in the low post. And I kind of wanted to make a big circle. Is that what's going to make the difference going forward in the future of Ja Morant and Zion? Because maybe Zion is box office today, but I think Ja Morant's career is going to outdo Zion in my own personal opinion.
I think in 5 years, I think Ja could certainly be a more popular player. I just think with basketball, and especially the NBA, there's always going to be a bias to ball handlers just because they're the guys who can impact the game more. I think you have a guy like Ja who is a spark plug, handles the ball really well. We've already seen it this season. He's been a fixture on SportsCenter. He's been a fixture on social media, Bleacher Report and whatnot, because he can generate those plays. Zion will have those plays too, but Zion's success, I think, will be more tied toward having people who can set him up, get him those lobs. I think that because he's not a creator. So just in general, I think with the NBA, there's always going to be a bias toward point guards, guys who handle the ball a lot, and that's certainly the reason why Anthony Davis. I guess you could say he isn't as criticized as much as maybe he deserves, but if the Lakers win or lose, LeBron has a much greater stake in that, and I think that's why he gets more of the focus. Looking at Ja and Zion, I know it frustrates fans now that Zion's been a bigger draw because he's number one pick, went to Duke, so on and so forth. But I think that matchup plays in Ja's favor just because of the way Ja plays. I think point guards who are very athletic, have the highlight passes, handle the ball well. You see the highlights of Kyrie, all that stuff. Leads to you becoming a popular player, and Ja can do all of that. So it would not surprise me at all if Ja is not only more popular than Zion 5 years from now, but is one of the 2 or 3 most popular guys in the league just because of his play style.
And you know what? I agree with that 100%. And you know what the sad part for me is? It ain't the fact that I don't think Zion's not great. I think Ja is just going to have the longer career. Like in the NFL, a quarterback has a longer career. Running back doesn't have as long a career. That body... I don't know how long Zion's going to be the greatest athlete. He's still 6'6", 6'7". It's like once he loses that, who is he going to be? What's my homie that used to play who tore up his knee years and years ago out of Pittsburgh, and then once he couldn't jump anymore, he was basically out of the league. He just would catch the ball a little bit and try to do a little hook, but he was still only 6'8". And he was great when he played in college. I can't even remember, so long ago. But what I'm trying to say is, if anything happens and he loses that athleticism, it's not like he still has the ball handling skills, the ability, to change pace or whatever. And I know what you can say, oh, well, Ja could lose his athletic ability. It's a little different when you're carrying a frame less than 200 pounds and when you're about 270 pounds and the pressure that you put on your body. Zion is a super freak of an athlete. I just don't know how long you can be a complete superhero that feels like that runs out, like it has a limited span.
I agree. I think this rookie season has definitely made me wonder a little bit just how Zion will be able to be because of his frame. The games, he's missed a lot of games because of that injury. And then when he's come back, he's had games where he's been restricted just because they're trying to ease him back in. And there were questions about his frame and his size before he even played an NBA game, which I think was fair. So I certainly hope the best for him. He's an exciting player and a unique player as well. And it would be great to see him have that type of career. But, yeah, I think the questions are legitimate with him. I think he will have to continue to round out his game so that he can be that type of impact player who's going to have a long career because right now he pretty much exists solely just as a power player. He's very efficient. He can get a lot done near the rim. Defensively, he hasn't really been great. And he's not really a playmaker type of guy. He puts the ball in his hands and he makes something happen. So it's unique for a guy who's 6'6" to have the game. And, we'll see what he has to his game from here. But I try to extend him the same benefits I extend to Ja in that they're both young guys. They're both round out their games. They're both evolved. I do think Zion will get better. And I'm sure it'll be a focus for him to overcome whatever limitations he may have now to kind of round out his game more. So, just kind of waiting and seeing with him, but I think it's a concern.
Well, I feel like we're just lucky here in Memphis, the fact that Ja fell to us because everybody would have had to take Zion. I'm glad we actually had the second pick and it wasn't Hasheem Thabeet. I feel like Ja is going to be the player as he is going to be the Rookie of the Year. But we have to talk. We're talking with Amari Sankofa, and by the way, he's up in Detroit. It's very sad that he's not with us anymore, but he's with the Detroit Free Press, and I wanted to ask you a question about football. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford was placed on the COVID-19 list. I don't know what that means, if he can return. I know that they said that, actually, I just now saw it, I think, from your thing. Did he test positive today?
He did test positive, yeah.
Oh, man, that's not very good. So now that he tests positive, does that mean that he's going to play this year after he's healed, or is he going to be basically on the players exempt list?
Well, it's tough to say because it seems like the NFL's overall plan to handle this virus, has not really been as thorough as we would like to see from a league that's supposed to begin play about a month from now. I think Matt has said about this, what Stafford has said about this is that, he would kind of like to play this season regardless of anything that may happen. And of course, it's unfortunate that he has not tested positive, and he's going to have to quarantine and get back healthy before they figure out what they want to do with him. I did hear that he was asymptomatic.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's weird is, he was asymptomatic. Doug Peterson was asymptomatic. They said, I think it was tight end T.J. Hawkinson was also asymptomatic. So that's another scary thing. I mean, you're happy that they're asymptomatic, that they don't feel anything or they barely feel a light fever. But it's also the scary thing is because you can show up to practice showing no signs, yet you're COVID positive and you're spreading that junk. That's the scary part.
Yeah, it definitely is. They say anywhere between 20 and 40% of the cases are asymptomatic, meaning that no matter how much testing you do, unless you are mandating that everybody gets tested every week, which of course we don't have because we're not there as far as testing yet, you're going to miss cases. And, that's what makes it so tough to get this thing under control. So I'm very curious to see what the NFL does and if they're able to have anything resembling a season this year, because a lot of players have tested positive already. Players will continue to test positive. You can't really do a bubble of that scale with that many NFL players, personnel, everything else. It's just not really feasible. So I guess we're just going to tackle this thing head on and hope for the best. So
you've been very outspoken realistically about this pandemic, and you've had some very good, some great stuff on it. You've written a lot of great stuff. But I mean, if you look at this and what the NBA has been able to pull off compared to Major League Baseball, where does the NFL fall? If the NBA is a 10 and Major League Baseball is a 1, where right now is the NFL?
You would have to think that they are not in much better shape than baseball.
Me too.
Because it seems like their plan is pretty similar, right? Get players tested
and hope and pray.
Isolate and hope and pray, basically. Which, I mean, there's just so many NFL players. I mean, just the pool of people who can test positive for this thing is so much higher that it seems like it's going to be really, really hard to prevent any outbreaks. I mean, how many games have we lost in MLB, in a week? I mean, it's already...
Look at the Cardinals, look at the Marlins. By the way, I asked earlier today, this is crazy. Did you see what was in the New York Times, the 5 most likely places to catch COVID-19? A casino, a strip club. Okay. It was a casino, a strip club, a church, a bar, or the grocery store. Only one of those is actually essential, I think. And that's the grocery store. So like the bars, the strip clubs, the what else did I say? Casino, and I forgot what the other one was. Oh, and the church. And by the way, church, like that's another one, man. That's also sad. Like church and grocery store, like those are up there with the other 3 places. That just, I don't know, man. That just don't sound right, and it just makes it. You have to look at this in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, these players, where they go, what they do, it truly is important. You can be asymptomatic. I talked to you about everything. Before I ask your predictions on the Grizzlies Pelicans today, I got to ask you one other thing. OBJ, him coming out today, with Odell Beckham Jr. coming out today, basically in the Wall Street Journal magazine, saying that the season shouldn't happen, yada, 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 yada. Do you think with all the players, we've already had more than 40 players opt out. That's already happened, period. It's almost 50 right now. Do you think because he came out, do you think that might actually push more people to actually opt out now that they see somebody like him who basically is like, I'm ready for this season not to happen. I don't know if he's saying that he's not going to play because he didn't say that he wouldn't. It just says, I'm ready for this football season to be canceled.
I think his words do hold weight. Obviously being a very high-profile player, I think his words do hold weight. I think maybe him saying something like that can encourage other players who are on the fence to say, you know what, sign out some solidarity here and just do what's best for everybody. Basically, just to not play. And I think that that's good because I think players, understandably, are not comfortable with what's been happening. The virus is spreading uncontrolled, and you're on a team with over 100 people, between the actual roster, practice personnel, and that's not even getting to all the trainers, coaches, everything else. Does not seem like a safe environment, and it's tough to see how you can create a safe environment even with masks when you just have that many people. Coming in touch with each other every single day, getting ready for the season. So it's definitely big that Odell said something like that. And I would have to think that some other players, maybe are willing to use their voice now that he says something. Maybe not, just because as a whole, the NFL tends to be a little bit more conservative about this stuff than
that is true.
The NBA would be, for example.
Well, it's also because you got to realize, I looked it up, there's a lot less millionaires in the NFL than any other sport. So these guys depend on that game check, if you know what I'm saying, more so than any other sport, even baseball, NBA, even hockey. NFL players, they depend on that damn game check. Like, that's important.
Yeah, I think one thing people tend to forget is that, like while the top of all these sports are making billions and billions of dollars, if you're a player who is making, like, let's say you make an average of $8 million or an average of $2 million a year, and, this is money that's supposed to last you the rest of your life, the next 40, 50 years after you retire. It really, missing a season could be very detrimental for you down the road.
That's for dead gum, sure.
What people's lifetime earning, like you look at somebody's lifetime earnings, if you could dish that into a 7-8 year span, you would be earning a lot more than you are now. But these players have to plan for, when they're age 60, age 70. So I think that's a good point. And if we don't see a lot of players speak out, it's probably because, if you're risking catching the virus now, versus not being able to take care of your family later, then that's a very real concern.
Well, Grizzlies today, 5:30. They go in against the Pelicans. It's Zion. It's Ja. It's going down for real. NBA in the bubble's doing great. Omari, who you got?
I'm going to take the Grizzlies. I think that they came down to the wire last night against a similar team in the Spurs. I would like to think that they've been working hard, making improvements. They'll be able to bounce back. But at the same time, the Pelicans, they've looked good too, especially that first night. Maybe not the second game as much. So both these teams, but maybe this is just my bias speaking. But I'm gonna take the Grizzlies.
I like it. Omari, be good out there. Take care of Detroit, man. The Detroit Free Press. Omari taking care of everything that's going up with them Pistons. And good luck with the Lions this year and all that good stuff. Hopefully the NFL has a season. Hopefully everybody's safe. But most importantly, Omari, you be safe out there, all right? Anything you got to drop to the people before I drop your oh, by the way, Twitter is at just very simply Omari Sankofa. I retweeted him. Give him a follow. He's the best in the business. And, we miss you, by the way.
Yeah, hey, when I left for this job, I didn't think we would be in a pandemic. I was hoping to get back down to Memphis this summer and people. Yeah. But, we'll just put that off to hopefully next summer. And, glad I got to be on the show. Thanks for having me, and stay safe down there.
Hey, man, Omari, be good out there, my friend. That's Omari Sankofa, really good guy. Give him a follow at Omari Sankofa. And, again, he writes for the Detroit Free Press and is the beat writer for the Pistons. But I will tell you this, we've got to take a break. But this is also very important. As we talk about the NFL, OBJ came out again, and this is the one thing I wanted to mention to Gabe to hear before we go to break. We'll talk about it on the other side because we also have to talk about the NCAA players and what's going on out in Washington. But he said this very thing that, again, is very hard, and especially with what's going on in this world today. He said, we players, he said, we, as the NFL, are not ready for the football season. But the owner's attitude is, we own you guys, and we don't care. You're just human dollar bills to us. I'm telling you right now, words like that, those things, they will draw attention. People will pay attention to this. Other players will respond. It'll be interesting to see what happens. 40 players have already said, I'm opting out. That's scary as all get out, at least to me it is. And I pray that we get this thing going underway. But I will tell you one thing. If it does get underway, it's going to have to do with y'all. So whatever you do, don't touch that dial. I got ways you can help. I got funny stories. I got the NCAA. I got Hardenwood next on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Chad Gatlin is your Mid-South Farmers agent, and he's easy to find. Just go to memphisfarmers.com to get a fast quote or call his office at 901-237-1176. And during this wild time we're all facing, know Chad has you covered. Whether you need to file a claim, get a quote, or just talk about what he can do to give you the absolute best coverage at the best price. Chad is a Memphis man and knows the area and that everyone is different, and he will work to make sure you have everything you need and nothing you don't. Get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com or call 901-235-1176. Save now on your 2021 swimming pool at Family Leisure. Buy now at 2020 pricing and save your spot for the first installation of 2021. Patio furniture 20 to 30% off. Play gyms in stock. Beat the heat with an indoor game table or slate pool table. Pool toys and floats up to 30% off. Family Leisure, Whit Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Family and fun come together.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BICEP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help get you back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BICEP to 42424. That's BICEP to 42424.
I'm George Flynn, candidate for U.S. Senate in the Republican primary. This election, you'll have a choice of values. I'm a Reagan conservative, believing in family, faith, freedom, and right to life. Or two others, blindly loyal to Trump. We know people aren't always right, even President Trump. And unlike my opponents, when he's not acting with conservative values, I'll stand up to him to promote our Tennessee conservative values. I've developed real solutions for our problems, not a lot of empty promises or sound bites. I'm George Flynn. I'm a physician, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, and I'm asking for your vote for values of family, faith, and freedom. As a physician, I can tell you that masks work to control this pandemic. I'm George Flynn, and I approve this message. Paid for by Friends of George Flynn, 2020. Gene Bryan, Treasurer.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Kick it over here. Kick it.
On Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Here's your host, John Harden.
Gold and shackles, ball and chain. Listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you about to wind up dead.
Don't head back to Tennessee, Jed. Welcome back into Sports 56 Happy Hour. Yas, Johnny Radio, Gabe Kuhn. We're all hanging out. Gonna, have a little Hardwood here in just a minute. But Grizzlies 0-2, playing the Pelicans 0-2. Now the Grizzlies win to overtime. Oh man, but what can I say? Lillard got the best of them. Then yesterday, it was Dylan Brooks who just stunk. I mean, the shooter kept shooting, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Fouls DeMar DeRozan with a second left in the ball game. But TJ just got out-coached, I think, by my man Greg Popovich, and the Spurs got the W. But at 5:30 today, Pelicans, Grizzlies, it's going down for real. And yes, we're fired up about that. And I hope you listen to Peter and Anthony saying, because they talked about it all day long, all day strong on Sports 56 mornings. Pete and Sane, they've been tearing it up. Now, Greg and Eli, they've been tearing it up as always. And Eli brought up a bunch earlier about, what's going on in college football. And before I get to Hardwood, I got to talk to you serious. I can't play this song. I can't do this. I have to be serious. And speaking of being serious, if you want to help people out there, Plasma Biologicals, 866-NCB19. If you have plasma, if you have healed from COVID-19, convalescent plasma is what is healing people and saving their dead-gum lives. If you're even healthy, they're so low on plasma, it's not even funny. And guess what else? This is crazy. They're going to give you $100 for your time. 866-END-CV19. You call them up, you make an appointment, go in there, give them some plasma, it takes a few minutes, walk out with $100. Plus, you're going to probably save somebody's life. 866-END-CV19. That's 866-NCV19. Plasma Biologicals. Thank you very much. And by the way, before we get to Hardwood, Mr. Gabe Kuhn, can you break a little of this down for us?
So at Washington State, we have some serious drama going on between
Nick Rolovich,
the new head coach, Nick Rolovich, and a lot of the players. There's been reports about him cutting 5 players based on their involvement in #WeAreUnited, which is the unity group that the Pac-12 has sort of made, the players. And we're looking at
that's bad.
Cassidy Woods is a wide receiver at Washington State, and he actually recorded a phone call with Nick Rolovich where Nick Rolovich was on record saying, that's going to be an issue if you align with them, talking about We Are United, as far as future stuff. The COVID-19 stuff is one thing, but joining this group, it's going to be different. If you say I'm opting out because of COVID and health and safety, I'm good, but this group is going to change how things go in the future for everybody, at least in our school. Now, somebody actually reported, let me get this for you, George Wrightster, he's actually a Fox Sports radio host, says that 5 Washington State football players have been cut because they are supporting We Are United. Wow. And I think there's going to be a fight sort of ensuing. And also, I did want to mention that the mother of Woods, the wide receiver I just mentioned, Jerlene Woods, tweeted Sunday that the damage is already done and they have been cut, although there was conflicting reports from Nicole Auerbach of The Athletic saying they were not cut. They were asked to clean out their locker because they cannot participate if they opt out of the season. They can't participate in workouts and other things.
But they can't clean out their locker either.
But again, it's a very interesting thing. Line. There's a very interesting fight, I think, that's about to happen. And for a first-year coach and Nick Rolovich, it's probably not a good thing.
No, he just in back. Do you know what he stepped into? A big old pile of you-know-what mess, because he just, like, this is one of those things. And by the way, I don't know if you realize this. Gabe even told me one of the players recorded his conversations. It is recorded, and it's set. And he says, hey, you want to not play because of COVID-19? We down with that. But you can't be with
you can't be with this unity
United,
group.
This unity group. Ain't happening. And you're like, whoa. And again, as we talked about this, yes, the young people, they're young. They're just now finding out their power. And the reason they're finding out their power is because of what they've been forced. They realize, like, hey, these people don't care about us. They're trying to put us on a field and put us in an unhealthy situation and have us sign a waiver that basically says if I get sick and my parents get banged with a bunch of medical bills, who cares? We had nothing to do with it. Go die, and your parents become bankrupt forever. That's BS. And the one that Stanford put out, please go read it. There was actually a legal analyst on FS1. You know that lady I follow all the time. She said it was one of the most disgusting documents that she's ever seen put before a young person. Like, it's basically asking you to sign your life away for a chance to play. Like, you don't even promise you get to play, but just the chance to be on this team. But God forbid you do get sick and you do die, which it's not going to happen to everybody. But if you do, or even if you just get sick, by the way, have you seen some of these people's medical bills?
Bad.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I'll tell you what, being in a hospital bed for days upon days at a time is not cheap.
No,
I'll tell you that right now.
Like, it depends
not
on what
cheap.
city. Like the cheaper places, like $2,000 a day. They got some places that are like $10,000 a day or whatever. It just kind of scared the you know what out of me. And for them to have to sign that, I understand where these players are coming from, but it will be interesting to watch what's going forward. But you know what? We got to have a little bit of fun today. We got a Grizzlies game at 5:30. It's time to win. Let's get to some Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
I have a feeling that this Pac-12 fight is going to be very, very
huge.
Ugly. It's nearly, but here's the thing: is I know they like banned unions in college sports, but this seems very similar to a union, what they're doing.
Well, the Power 5 also basically just flipped off the NCAA. So what does the NCAA's power towards a Power 5 school have? They can basically say you ban unions, but the Power 5 just told you just said that you can't have a championship, and the Power 5 just flipped you off. So what do you got, NCAA? I got your, that's what they're going to do. You watch out. This thing's real, brother. Now, you want to laugh? Now, I want to laugh because I did cry this week, and we'll talk about this at the end to make you a little bit sad. But do you want to laugh for just a minute? Because I need a laugh. Do you need a laugh?
Of course I do.
Now, was it you that had the funny thing, or is it me? Because I have the.
You have funny. You're always funny.
I know, but
man.
didn't you have something that made me want to laugh really hard?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I did. I mean, I have the Cardinals.
No, that's not the funny
info
one.
about the Cardinals,
Yeah,
which
no,
is
that's not the
it's
one.
not funny, but it's kind of
Actually, no, it's not funny.
Not funny at all, but it's pretty interesting.
No, it is very interesting. But it is kind of part of the funny thing, and it can help me lead into the one I wanted to go to, and it has to do with this 67129. Because of the Cardinals and the Marlins, they basically have banned strip clubs, bars, and shake junks. But they had to add to that list, and this is according to the New York Times, that they need to add grocery stores and churches because you're just as likely to get COVID-19 at your grocery store or a church as you are a strip club, a bar, or a casino. Now, by the way, these are all 5 the worst places outside of an old folks' home. Now, I don't see a
but
bunch
2
of
are
young
more
dudes.
understandable than the other 3.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't see young dudes going into the old folks' home because they play ball, but I do see them going into the Shake. I do see them going into the bars.
Yeah, let's not. Come on, though. Like, if we're banning a grocery store and banning a strip club is not the same thing, buddy. Like, I know the chances of catching it are the same, but let's not act like they're the same. Come on, man. Let's get.
Okay. Okay.
You have the same likelihood of catching COVID-19 going to the strip club as you do at the grocery store.
But here's the reason I wanted to mention this. Because I said last week, man, there was a dude who's out there talking about how young kids and, they want to go out to the strip clubs and the bars and they work hard and they just got money and they want to go out there and celebrate because you work hard, you want to play hard. Then you have people who are married. But just as likely as you're married and you're like taking your toddler through the dadgum Kroger, or maybe you're going to church on Sunday, you're just as likely to get it as the dude who's going to Magic City to get wings like Lou Williams. And by the way, has Luke caught anything? So far, so good, right?
Safe, from what I understand.
Yep. Now, do you think like Matthew Stafford's been at any of these bad places?
No,
he's like one of the very, very good dudes in sports. I mean, his wife beat cancer. They have children. He's like one of the nicest dudes in the world. So again, he's got COVID-19. But like Antonio Brown is running around Florida. I know he's in strip clubs and bars. He's like literally in Florida running routes with high school kids and catching balls from quarterbacks. And again, somehow he doesn't catch it. You see what I'm trying to say is, so this is one of those things where I can't believe I'm going to say this, but dadgummit, Doug Peterson, he's the head coach. He's self-quarantining for the Eagles. Football in the National Football League means too much. If you want to play. If you want to opt out, take your $150K and bounce. If you want to roll, let's roll. Antonio Brown's going to do an 8-game suspension. I think he'll want to roll once he gets done with his 8-game suspension if anybody gives him a chance. Heck, he's playing in Florida on a high school football field. So, while everybody and like OBJ's talking crazy and saying how the owners don't care nothing about them and that's their attitude, like basically Antonio Brown came this close. And I hate to say this. I mean, not Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr. He really bothered me with this. He came this close to basically say, like, they hate us or they could care less. We are a piece of meat to them or something like that. I don't feel like, have you ever heard like Jerry Jones, like, and he takes a lot of heat or whatever. You hear Mike Irving or Emmitt Smith or Troy ever talk about Jerry being like the biggest. I know he's like not the greatest. And the owners I don't like very much. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, don't act like they, basically the way he talked about them, you're not cattle. You got a collective bargaining agreement. You get to sign a contract. Cattle, you know what happens to cattle? They get branded and they get murdered and then they get sold for meat. You ain't getting sold for meat, yo. Like, quit acting like this is, like, again, if you want to make millions of dollars, go play. This is different for college. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I wouldn't let my kid go do jack right now, especially for these a-holes who make millions of dollars and don't give a damn about you. But in the National Football League, OBJ, look at your contract. You're getting paid to play. If they don't want to show up, you have the right to opt out. But I don't think you need to come out there and put in the magazine that how unfair and how they don't even see us. Like, to say they don't see us as a human, to be honest with you, do you know what? I wouldn't sign OBJ. He's like Antonio Brown. He looks like a damn cancer to me.
And I will say this, coming out of his mouth,
Ticks
it's
me
interesting.
off.
It's interesting because I do think like half of the people on minimums I don't know. They're bodies.
I agree.
They're
I
bodies.
agree, and
But
that
Odell
sucks.
Beckham, you're not a body. I mean,
Thank
you're getting paid handsomely. If you go out, they're sad. Like they really need you back. Like you're one of their big pieces on their team. Now I get what he's saying if you were talking about the bottom 50% of contracts on any given NFL roster. I understand that. I think they are bodies. They try to get in and out of those contracts quick. But also, if you opt out of the season this year, you get $150,000 or $350,000.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
That's still a good living for a year. I mean,
but he makes $21.49 million this year. Okay, so
interesting.
That's where I'm trying to say is I don't know what Cal getting paid $21 million this year to play football. Do you know what I'm saying? And by the way, this isn't his contract. This is this year. This year.
Yep.
And then next year it does go down to 15.75 and then 15 and then 15. But that ain't bad. I'll take 20. And by the way, you know how much you made last year? 17. He got a signing bonus of $20 million. Yeah, and by the way, if I got a signing bonus, he's already pocketed right now. Like he's already put $40.9 million in the bank. I would be able to sit and talk to a magazine and talk about these owners and talk all kinds of smack. But what about the kid who's trying to make it? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. 100%.
And again,
he has his right to opt out.
He can opt out.
He can do that. And he'd still get some money, not his full contract, but he's getting us some money. Now, I want to have this Jonas Cespedes conversation.
That was hilarious.
That was
where I was going next.
I am reading a headline here, and I'm confused by the headline. It reads, Jonas Cespedes opts out of 2020 season. He forgot. The key word here I want to focus on, forgot to tell Mets. Do you think he forgot to tell the Mets, or he just
Can I just tell you why he forgot? Do you notice where they were? They were in Atlanta. What's in Atlanta? Magic City.
Oh, he went for some wings.
No, he went for thighs and breasts, brother. He's not a wing guy. He was there for thighs and breasts. Let me tell you something. If you're hanging out with thighs and breasts all night, you eat a whole bucket of chicken, you're going to forget.
But do you think he really forgot?
Because
from all the reports, he literally had his room packed up. It was gone. It was empty when they got in there.
It was at Magic City, like I said. I told you.
But how do you empty out your bags and get out of the room that quick if you forgot to tell them? You don't forget that. I'm wondering what else is going on here. That's all I'm trying to say. He did not forget.
No,
I'm not buying that
silly.
for a second.
He didn't forget it all.
He could have been at Magic City. I'm not. Whatever.
No, he probably was at Magic City. I mean, if he had any brains, he'd be at Magic City. I mean, the wings. Are you kidding me? If the wings are that good, could you imagine what the talent's like? Woo!
But I'm just saying, man. Forgot cannot be the right word.
No,
right?
it is. No, it cannot be. But by the way, can I also ask you, because I make fun of it, I gave him a little bit of credit, and I'm taking it all back. Remember LeBron James? And I talked to you about all kinds of stuff he's doing. Did you know he's now a children's book author, too?
I saw that. It's an I Promise book.
The I Promise book. Now, this is my question. Can I just, he can only write a children's book, of course, but again, does he have to have his fingers in every single money-making thing in the whole wide world? I guess he learned that from Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett taught him a lot when he was a young kid, didn't he? Warren's getting rich, LeBron's getting rich, but my goodness. Have you read the book?
No.
Me neither. I don't read children's books.
I have not read the book.
I promise to use my voice positive. LBJ is super positive with his simply inspiring messages like, I promise to ask for help whenever I need it. I promise to be me and only me.
Why are you being a hater, man? Why you gotta be a hater?
Because, damn it, he didn't write that damn book. Come on, man. His kid wrote it for a project, and he got his publishing company to do it. Somebody wrote it. It was handed to him. It's kind of like when you were graduating high school and you had a term paper.
I actually, I think one of my assignments when I was in high school was you had to make a children's book.
Dude, I had a good friend of mine who literally would have never graduated high school if he didn't have the old lean. And look at all my tests. And I finally wrote his paper for him at the end. What's up, Ryan? Love you, brother. We'll be back in 2 shakes. One more segment of the day. And I was just making fun of, again, LeBron James, he's a great man. But damn, how does he have time to play basketball? He's making movies. He's on TV. He's giving haircuts. He does more stuff than I've ever done in my entire life. And he's still playing hoops. But he's also rich and probably got a arsenal of people working for them and keeping them awake. Whatever you do, don't touch that dial. This is Sports 56, 96.1, and of course, MemphisFarmers.com. My good friend Chad Gallon, 87.7 FM.
Check out Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7. Now, back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Let's go!
On Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Here's your host, John Harden.
Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some belong to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy ghosts and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. You see a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs Jackson when you got words?
Welcome back into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your good friend Johnny Radio, hanging on the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Gabe Kuhn hanging out with me at G_Kuhn71. And we've talked everything from the NFL, OBJ being a lunatic. Dude, you're making tons of money. If you don't want to play, don't. If you want to play and make bank, go play. That's your right. You can play. You can take $150,000 to not play, or you can go play for $20 million. Make up your mind, but don't act like I'm going to feel sorry for you. that goes to the college and the kids who do not get paid. Now, I do have to bring up something again. We know about the Marlins. We know about, of course, the Cardinals. More players get, it's just been a nightmare. Let's be honest. If you don't know, we got Cardinals, Tigers that are postponed tonight. We got Marlins postponed for the foreseeable damn future right now. We got, baseball's in a little bit of a weird spot. Now, I asked earlier, they're telling all the baseball players to stay away from strip clubs, bars, and casinos. But the New York Times pointed out, even for those good kids, don't go to churches or grocery stores because you're just as likely to get COVID from a church or a grocery store as you are from Magic City or maybe the Vault or, let's see. Hold on, what am I forgetting? A bar, a strip club, a casino, or maybe Tunica. You're hanging down in Tunica. So, again, you can't just point it to one thing. But I do got to congratulate everybody, and a lot of people I need to congratulate. Aaron Judge. Dude has homered in 5 straight. Had 2 last night. He's got his 6th home run in 8 games. Mike Trout had a baby. Congratulations. AD, you better do something. And don't forget, other congratulations, Phil Mickelson, 10 under for your age. Tied for 2nd. Congratulations, the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. That was awesome. Congratulations. I just got to say, as they go in this week to win this thing, Justin Thomas, 13 under, was balling. But, dude, it was warm here. I know we had one day of coolness. But do you know the next week, they're going for the PGA Championship out in San Francisco? The high is going to be 68. You're going to see dudes playing in, long sleeves, so it's going to be very interesting. Are we going to see guys play football, baseball? I don't know. But basketball is coming up 5:30, Grizzlies, Pelicans, and it's all brought to you by Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. I love Brian Elder. You love them. Call 866-0303. That's 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. They're the best in the business. Commercial, residential, whatever. If you got a problem, roofing can be scary. Don't make it scary. Call a friend. 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing Solutions.
Real quick, breaking news. We have a number of positive tests on the Cardinals. You ready for that number?
Oh, what do we got?
13.
Well, I was going to go 6. Did you say 13? Tears are falling
7
down
players,
my face.
6 staff members.
7 players, 6 staff members, so that's why I felt the 6. At least I felt something. Yeah, they call me a medium. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to get out of here and hand this bad boy to Wolo and Stats. I hope you have a blessed day. Make sure you're locked and loaded from the beginning to the end. We rock all day long, but get out there and make the world a better place. For Gabe, I'm John. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace!